Page 15, Gavotte. In this lesson, they're introducing you to what they call double grace notes. Instead of one little grace note, you get two of them. But again, I do that when I do the articulation, so I'll talk about those later. I'll look it over. It's about, 4 lines long. Treble bass clef, 1 sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. So if you're doing the scales, do the G major scale 1 octave up and down. 4/4 time signature, but we're coming in on beat 3 because that first measure only has 2 counts in it. But if you look at the end, that's got 2 counts. We're okay. I'm going to take it one hand at a time, and again, I want to connect everything at first. We'll do these staccatos and stuff later. So right hand, we're here. So 3, 4, and then a 3. A lot of numbers here, isn't it? That's 5, 3. And then here. So the half note you're on third finger, and then whoa, what's going on in measure 3? 8th notes and 16th notes. So it's 1 and 2. 1 E and a 1 E and a 2. So rhythm 1 and 2. I mean, once you get past the 16th notes, they're all 8th notes. 1 and then come up 4 2. And the thumb comes down. And then the left hand helps out, and then the right hand comes back. I'll talk more about measure 4 when I put the hands together, because in measure 4, you'll notice that neither staff actually has 4 beats in it. So what they've done is they combine the 2 staves together as far as rhythm goes, so you have to consider both staves to get 4 beats in the measure. So I'll talk about that later when I get the hands together. Measure 5, you're back up here. 1 and 2 and 3. And then we have chords. This chord, this chord, and this chord. It's a C, D, F sharp, and here. Remember on the chords, if you're not sure what it is, you spell out the chord. So in measure 6, the chord, the quarter note, is a D, a G, and a B. You come down, the next one is C, E, A, and then it's C, D, F sharp, and then here. And this, go ahead and finger this in measure 8. Finger the quarter notes like you did at the beginning. Just come up. Use the same fingering as you did on the first line. Let's do the left hand. What's that going? It's got here. Then thumb comes up. 1, 2, 4, and then F sharp. And reach down. Octave. 1, 2. Again, measure 4, I'll talk more about it when we put the hands together. So measure 5, you're up here. Rest, rest, rest. Now, on measure 8, there's different ways of fingering this. Because you're down here, you can do a 2-1, because there's no rest there. Or you can finger it like you did at the beginning, because you can do that with the right hand. I mean, sometimes when we're working out a fingering for one hand at a time, we think we have it. And then when we go to put the hands together, we realize the fingering doesn't work, and we have to adjust it. That's fine. Sometimes we have to do that. Well, right now, we'll just try and use the fingering we did at the beginning. This here. Put the hands together and see what happens. So we're here, and then here, and then here. One and 2 and. Now measure 4. Just follow the 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Just keep the 8th notes steady. And everything of this quarter notes on beat 1. Measure 8, we have a problem. I'm here. For the half note and for the quarter note, both hands are moving. don't like doing that. So if I can figure out a fingering that'll help me, maybe one hand moves at a different time. So I'm not moving both hands at the same time. So it's like that D is in this position. I don't have to move to play the D. So I can just stay there. That way I can focus on getting the left hand up. And then I can move, because the left hand's in position now and the left hand's going to rest. So then I can move the right hand. I'm moving one hand at a time. So you might try that. Measure 12 is like measure 4. Just follow the eighth notes. Just follow the eighth notes. You don't have to go that fast. Just keep the eighth notes steady. Now once I have the hands together, then I'll go back over it slowly and carefully, and you may just have to take it a few measures at a time and get rid of the hesitations. And then I can add the articulation. For the staccato, the short flexing at the wrist, here. Accent. And this quick little note, they're quick little notes. They're marked 16th notes, but they're well, again, there are different ways of playing this. You can actually play them as 16th notes. 2 16th notes plus an eighth note. One E and, one E and. And that probably will do fine. That works fine. I mean, if I can do the ornaments rhythmically, I'll do it. Now, little grace notes like we had on page 14, those aren't rhythmic. You just do them real quick. These other things and many other ornaments are rhythmic, and you can actually just play them. Just pretend it's 2 16th notes followed by an eighth note. So that quarter note B is actually an eighth note B. So it's all on beat 1. One E and a, one E and a 2. Having the staccato on that beat makes it difficult. In most cases, you won't have a staccato when you have a double grace note in front of it. You'll bring it out. You'll hold it out. Now, you can make it a long staccato. Not a short staccato, a long. Anything less than connected is staccato. So it's a short staccato here. Accent and then so forth. You can try that. It's interpretation. You do it the way your teacher tells you to do it. I just don't like having the staccatos like that on that. I would like to hold that out a little longer. A little longer than that. I can still disconnect it from the next note. It just isn't real short. And then the dynamics. That's the right hand for the most part. Moderately soft. These things in the left hand got to be soft. And that brings the accent and note up to about a moderately loud. Just go a little bit. And then moderately soft again in the right hand. Now measure 4, all these eighth notes got to be the same. It's got to sound like one hand played them all. And then measure 6, the quarter notes. They're all the same. Then come down. And then see at the end, the half note, there's a line. On both staves, there's a line on those notes. It's a tenuto. Just hold that out the full 2 counts and maybe just a hair longer. Just linger on that note. Not long one. It's not a hole. It's not a fermata. It's just a hold it. Yeah, hold it off. And again, people don't agree with that little line means. That in the last measure, that tenuto line. But I'll leave that up to you and your teacher. Now, as far as the speed goes, it's a 1, 2, about where I was pluing. notice that on measure 6, the half note, it's not that's not an accent, that's one of those little lines. Linger on that. You don't have to bring it out. Linger on it. Give it the full 2 counts and just a hair over if you can, and then go on. It's interpretation. If you feel it, put it in. Bach probably didn't put all this articulation in it. Back in the 1700s, most composers didn't put articulation and that stuff in the music. It was up to the performer to interpret the music. Bach did start putting it in his music. He got picky about it, but it really came in toward the latter half of the 1700s, where they started telling the performer how to interpret it by putting in these articulation marks and things, and dynamics and stuff. Let's play this together very slowly to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics, the louds and softs, so I'm just going to play the notes. I will try and do the staccatos and the accents and all, though. I'll give us 2 counts because we come in on beat 3. I'm going to go ready, go, and then we go. We're just going to go really slow here. Ready, go.